In December 2015, hackers didn't care about corporate data or holding files for ransom. Instead, they weaponized code to strike the physical world, cutting the power to 230,000 people in the dead of winter. There was no ransom note, no warning. To cover their tracks, the attackers deployed destructive malware that wiped control room servers, freezing operators out of their systems while launching a blitz to flood customer support lines. The result was pure, orchestrated darkness across an entire region's homes, hospitals, and businesses. This wasn't a standard corporate data breach. It was a calculated strike on critical infrastructure, executed entirely through a keyboard. Welcome to the world of OT and ICS security, where a cyber attack doesn't just cost you money, it can cost you the lights, the water, the gas, everything physical that keeps society alive. Most of the cybersecurity you hear about, the headlines screaming about data leaks, stolen passwords, or frozen spreadsheets, belongs to the world of IT. Information technology protects data, emails, databases, and customer records. But there is a second, hidden world keeping modern life running, and we only tend to notice it when the physical world stops working. That world is OT, operational technology. OT doesn't manage data, it controls physical reality. It runs the power grids, sanitizes the water treatment plants, moves the oil pipelines, and stabilizes hospital ventilation systems. If IT is the brain handling digital thoughts and memories, OT is the nervous system and the muscles, the actual heartbeat of our physical infrastructure. When IT fails, a company loses its files. When OT fails, a city loses its power. Inside that OT world sits ICS, Industrial Control Systems. These are the actual components making physical processes happen automatically. PLCs, Programmable Logic Controllers, are small industrial computers that follow simple, repetitive logic. Open this valve, stop this motor, adjust this temperature. RTU, Remote Terminal Units, collect data from equipment spread across huge distances, like along a pipeline. HMI, Human-Machine Interfaces, are the screens operators actually watch, showing pressure, flow, and status in real time. And beneath all of it, sensors and actuators, the physical nerve endings, measuring the world and acting on it. None of these were built with attackers in mind. They were built to run for 20, 30 years without interruption. Here's where OT security fundamentally breaks from everything you'd learn in a standard IT security course. In IT, we talk about the CIA triad: confidentiality first, then integrity, then availability. Protecting secrets is priority one. In OT, that order flips completely. It becomes AIC. Availability comes first, because a power plant can't just go offline to install a patch. Integrity is second. A sensor reporting the wrong pressure reading can trigger a catastrophic failure, or worse, hide one. Confidentiality is often last. Nobody's usually trying to steal trade secrets from a water pump. They're trying to stop it or make it lie to the humans watching it. To understand how these environments are structured, security professionals use a reference framework called the Purdue Model. Think of it as layers stacked from the physical world upward. At the very bottom, the actual equipment: pumps, valves, motors, physically doing work. Just above, sensors and controllers, the PLCs and RTUs, talking to that equipment directly and continuously. Above that, supervisory systems, the HMIs and control rooms operators actually watch and interact with. Higher still, site-level operations, managing production schedules, and plant-wide coordination. And at the very top, the corporate IT network, email, planning tools, business systems connected to the outside internet. The danger zone in every modern facility is where these layers touch, because increasingly they do, and that boundary is where most real-world attacks begin. For decades, the standard defense for OT was simple: isolation. Keep it air-gapped, physically disconnected from any outside network, and attackers simply can't reach it. It's a comforting idea. It's also increasingly a myth. Modern factories want real-time production data pushed to corporate dashboards. Utilities want remote monitoring, so engineers don't have to drive hours to check a substation. Vendors want remote access for maintenance and updates. Every one of those conveniences is a new connection, a new bridge between the isolated world of OT and the exposed world of IT. And bridges, unlike walls, can be crossed in both directions. So how does an attacker actually cross that bridge? Rarely by directly hacking a power plant from the internet. Most OT equipment isn't even reachable that way. Instead, they compromise the IT side first. A phishing email to an employee, a stolen vendor credential, an unpatched laptop that happens to have a connection back into the plant network. From there, they move laterally, hopping from the corporate network toward the systems that actually control physical equipment. It's less a single dramatic break-in and more a slow, patient crawl through a chain of smaller, more ordinary weaknesses. These aren't hypotheticals. Stuxnet, discovered in 2010, physically destroyed uranium enrichment centrifuges by lying to their operators, showing normal readings while the equipment tore itself apart. Triton, in 2017, targeted the safety instrumented systems at a petrochemical plant, the very systems designed to prevent explosions and protect human life. And the Ukraine grid attacks in 2015 and again in 2016 left entire regions without power, using malware purpose-built to speak the native language of electrical grid equipment. 3 different attacks, 3 different targets, 1 shared lesson. When OT security fails, the consequences move from the digital world into the physical one, instantly. This isn't just history. IT and OT convergence is accelerating everywhere, driven by efficiency, automation, and remote work. Ransomware groups that once only targeted corporate data are now increasingly hitting operational networks, sometimes by accident, sometimes on purpose, because the payout for shutting down a factory or a pipeline is enormous. Governments are responding. New regulations, new frameworks, new national authorities dedicated specifically to critical infrastructure protection. This field is growing because the stakes are only getting higher. This is Grid Matrix, where we break down exactly how the physical world gets hacked and exactly how it's defended. Next episode, we go inside a SCADA system, the nervous system of every industrial facility, and the layer where most of these stories actually begin. If you want to understand the invisible systems running the modern world, subscribe, and let's go deeper into the Matrix.